I don't know if you know this, but in the Psalms there's a variety of different types of psalm. We have the Psalms of Ascent, where we are being led up to the presence of God to praise and worship Him. There are Psalms just declaring the glory of God. And there are Psalms of Lament, which are psalms poured out of the heart of the psalmist in trouble and distress. And that's one of the great things about the Psalms, that they are real, and that in our distress, in the challenges we face in life, they point us back to God. And Psalm 3 is one of these. And I'm just going to look at the first 4 verses of it today. Psalm 3, verses 1 to 4. This psalm has a title, and the title given with this psalm is A Psalm of David regarding the time David fled from his son Absalom. So David was in great physical danger at this time as he wrote this psalm and as he had to flee out of his kingdom into safety. O Lord, I have so many enemies. So many are against me. So many are saying, God will never rescue him. But you, O Lord, are a shield around me. You are my glory, the one who holds my head high. I cried out to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy mountain. Do you ever feel like that? In the first 2 verses, David says, I have so many enemies, so many are against me, and so many are saying, God's not going to rescue him. Many trials and difficulties he's facing. And this is real, isn't it? This is reality. And I don't know about you, but for me, there are times when I for sure feel like things are not going the way I would like them to, and that the challenges in life are too much for me. Well, David was being directly, personally persecuted, and he absolutely knew what it was like to be in dire straits, in great distress. And yet, here is David, who had a real relationship with God, often described as a man after God's own heart. And so he quickly moves from that place of crying out in despair, and let's be honest, we are sometimes in despair, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that, but then he moves from crying out in despair to focusing his attention on God. You, O Lord, are a shield around me. We know that God protects us from many things. Often we hope that he would protect us from more things than he does, but in his wisdom, he knows which things he needs to protect us from, which things we need to be exposed to for our own good and for the sake of his glory, and which things will actually turn out not to be as bad as we perhaps suspected they would be. The Lord is a shield, and God is his glory, the one who holds David's head up high, the one who holds our head up high, because we can say that we are adopted as children of the King of the universe, and that we inherit the promises that he has made to us. And David says, I cried out to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy mountain. This is not an unspeaking false God. This is not an idol that has no mouth or voice. This is a God who wants to be in relationship with us and who wants to speak to us, because that is one of the characteristics of a relationship, that we have a conversation. So I would encourage you, if you are feeling in despair, in difficult circumstances right now, follow David's example. Cry out to the Lord, because we know for sure he will answer you. That may take many different forms, but if you are looking and listening, you will hear God's answer.